Well, hello and welcome to this very special edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion for Avoya Travel. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for your continued support of our little effort here on Deck with Avoya. We appreciate all of your wonderful feedback. We do our best to respond to each and every note we receive. We have a great program lined up for you today as we focus again on the power of relationships. Let me tell you something. In the travel industry, I can't speak for every industry, but in the travel industry, we're so fortunate in that relationships are still just a vital key component. So we're so thrilled we get to welcome Vice President of Strategic Sales, MSC Cruises USA, Kris Endreson, to our program. We can't wait to do a deep dive with that amazing vendor and explore all things MSC. I tell you what, I'm a big fan. Ocean Cay, their private island in the Bahamas, so amazing, so beautiful, picturesque. Can't wait to welcome Kris Endreson to the show here in just a moment. Before we do that, though, we wanted to remind you that at the end of today's show, we're going to highlight a couple of things, including Avoya Travel's promotions, including our ongoing discount for active and retired military members and their spouses. We're going to touch base on travel agent education powered by Avoya. That platform just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. Of course, we had Gina Hoyt on. They're doing amazing things. It really is the foundation for the launch of a great agency. We're going to take a moment to brag about the amazing resources offered exclusively to those in the Avoya Network. And we'll wrap up the big show today by highlighting our social media contact and all the ways you can reach out to start the process to be part of the Avoya Travel Network. And oh yeah, I get to kind of hint about who next week's guest is going to be, because we're pretty excited that Mike Anderson, co-CEO of Avoya Travel, is going to join us next week. But talking about this week, let's kick it off. This week's On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update, our exclusive Q&A segment. Please help me welcome our special guest today, Kris Endreson, Vice President of Strategic Sales, MSC Cruises USA, and our featured Meet the Industry guest. Kris, so great to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Chris. It is my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. So before we get too far into our interview, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe your history as a travel professional and how you came to be in your current role with MSC Cruises USA?
Yeah, sure. Without dating myself, but hey, you get to a point where it is what it is, right, Chris? So I've been in the travel industry for 27 years. I'm not going to say almost 30 years. Those 3 years matter. But very early on, I was actually in finance. I worked in New York City in finance, and then I took some time off to have my 2 daughters, and then I sort of fell into the industry. Quite honestly, by mistake, and just by happen chance. And here I am 27 years later, deeply rooted in the cruise industry.
It seems so many of my guests that I talk to have a maybe not the same path, but it's that we kind of stumbled. Like travel wasn't something like if you asked me to write that paper when I was in like 7th grade, being in the travel industry did not make the list of things I thought would happen. And yet here I am, here you are. And I think we're both probably excited to be where we're at, right?
So excited. And so you're so right. So many ironies. I'm in sales and in college. It's funny you bring this up. So I am going to tell this quick story. But in college, I actually wrote a term paper about Willie Loman, Death of a Salesman. And the whole premise of my term paper was how I would never, ever in a million years ever be in sales. And here I am in sales for almost 30 years. So it's hilarious, but it really is who I am. So I think it was just a self-fulfilled prophecy, but it's pretty ironic.
That's a great story. Absolutely. I'm always fascinated to find out, when did the love of travel start? I mean, did you grow up with a love of visiting new places, or when did that travel bug kick in for you, Kris?
It really didn't. I'll be very honest with you. I grew up in New Jersey, and I spent my summers at the beach. So we had a beach house. And so our summers really were spent, going to the beach and enjoying, the beaches of New Jersey, which are quite beautiful. For those of you who are not familiar with New Jersey, it's not like everybody thinks it is. And really when I entered into the travel industry, is when I really started to expand my world and see what the rest of the world was all about. And one taste of that, and that's it, you're hooked. So I really truly did fall into this industry, and I am so incredibly blessed.
So tell us a little bit about your role now with MSC Cruises USA as the Vice President of Strategic Sales, and kind of what maybe a typical day might involve for you and look like.
Yeah, sure. So I started, I really started as a sales rep. For about 15 years, I was boots on the ground when my kids were small. It was a perfect job. And then I spent the last 10 years as an executive in the luxury side of the cruise industry and just come back over to the premium contemporary side. So I feel like my career's kind of come full circle, as they say. And so now, as vice president of strategic sales at MSC, I'm responsible for driving, the sales for our top partners within our brand and across the industry, leading a rock star team. I've doubled the size of my team, Kris, just this year to align with the growth of MSC. So my days are very busy. Everybody sees me on social media and oh, I want your life. You're so lucky you get to travel everywhere and you just have you look like you're always having so much fun. And most of my days are meetings, 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 and looking for ways that we can be more strategic, more creative, and really find, the best ways that we can support our partners and spread the word about MSC.
Absolutely. I mean, hard to believe here we are kind of closing in at the tail end of 2023. Give me a recap, if you can, of the year so far from your perspective and what some of the bright spots and highlights have been for MSC as we get ready to wrap up 2023.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that we are sitting here almost looking at December. It's just unbelievable. And who knew at the turn of last year that we were going to see such a surge in this industry of demand? We could have never dreamed what would have happened a year ago this time. So to see the industry rebound and to see the demand and to see the momentum that the brand here at MSC has, our momentum was perfectly aligned with what happened in the industry. And so it's just been such an exciting time for us to sort of converge all at the same time. As that demand rose, so did the momentum for our brand. And so that was definitely one of, excuse me, one of the bright spots for us at MSC. We've been working hard for that, but to see it all come together so quickly, and it wasn't quick. It was a lot of elbow grease, a lot of long nights, maybe a few head bangs on the desk to get us there. But we're constantly just looking to really grow, and it's been a tremendous year for us. We had some exciting things happen over the year with launching MSC Meravia year round from New York. That was a big win for us. That's our third home port for MSC, aside from Miami and Port Canaveral. We also announced building our new terminal, which is currently under construction in Port Miami. We can't formally say it's the largest terminal in the world because we kind of can't prove it, but yet we really are. So we kind of say we are. So unofficially, we're the largest terminal in the world. Very excited. The terminal will really be a game changer for us and the brand, being able to deliver that seamless experience for our guests from curb to ship. Also, we've had the most deployment in the history of MSC this year. We just brought MSC Magnifica here just in this month in November. So that rounds out the 5 ships that will have sailing, which again, like I said, is the largest deployment. So it's just been a whirlwind of a year. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of other things that we're going to talk about, I think, coming up also. Just so much happening. It's crazy. It's so exciting.
It is exciting, right? I mean, it's exciting not only for your specific brand, but when you look at the bigger picture in the industry as an overall, because again, your story mirrors what I hear from other vendors too, right? And so there's just this amazing upswing in the industry and for the travel advisor community, and so many amazing options and things to tell their clients about. Let's kind of look through the windshield now and look ahead, because before you know it, 2024 is going to be smacking us in the face. Tell me about the exciting things coming up down the road for 2024 with MSC. And I know there's a lot of excitement there with the brand for that.
Yeah, so if the terminal in Port Miami wasn't enough, we are coming very close to announcing that we'll be sailing from Galveston, Texas. I just heard all those woo-woos out there when I said that. I actually live in Dallas, Texas now myself, so super excited that we'll be sailing year-round from Galveston. We think towards the end of 2025. We haven't formally announced it yet, but we're super excited about that. I expect that announcement to come in 2024. The terminal will be ready and completed in the spring of 2024. So we're super excited about the new terminal. And then, just having all of our ships sailing and, anticipating our new ship, World America, which is going to be a true game changer for us. MSC World America, she's currently on sale now, but boy, 2024, it's going to be all about MSC World America. She'll be sailing from Port Miami, doing 7-night cruises, Eastern and Western Caribbean. And as I mentioned, the ship is truly going to be a game changer. She'll be one of the largest ships in our fleet. She'll be an LNG powered ship. In fact, she'll be our third LNG powered ship. MSC is all about sustainability. And this ship is going to just have some magnificent game-changing opportunities where, our guests can experience some really unique things on board, like a dedicated deck just for families, a lot of super fun interactive activities, some new dining concepts. She'll have 13 restaurants and 20 bars and lounges and, just so much to do. So 2024 is going to be an exciting year for us as we tee up to launching World America in 2025. She'll start sailing in April of 2025. So, a lot of things we'll be talking about in 2024.
I mean, World America seems a befitting name to come out of the unofficial world's largest terminal, right? I mean,
right?
That sounds like it's some good synergy right there, Kris.
Yes, it is. Well, MSC is the world's largest privately owned cruise line and the world's third largest by capacity and the world's fastest growing. So, this really is a global company. And so I like how you tied that together, Kris.
Good. One of the things that we know is important when making guests happy are kind of managing those expectations and making sure that the right people are matched with the right product. Tell me a little bit about what makes MSC Cruises USA stand out, and maybe give me a couple of insider tips that you might have that agents can maybe sell more of your amazing product.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we're really proud of our differentiator, which is our European heritage. This is something that makes us unique, and we're proud of that because there are other options out there, but MSC is a little different. We like to say that this is where elegant European design meets American comfort. So, our guests will come on board an MSC cruise and they will have that cruise experience that they would expect to have. But at the same time, they'll be on a cruise that's just a little different. You'll be, interacting with more people from around the world because we're a global company. And so, you'll have a little bit more of that European flair and interaction when you're on board. And, I know that so many advisors out there have clients who love to go to Europe. They love to immerse themselves in different cultures and meet new people and have different experiences. And when you're on an MSC cruise, you're getting all of that while you're on board a cruise, not having to just get on a plane and, go to a different culture to immerse yourself there. So I think that's a really important thing for all of our Avoya advisors to understand, is that we're different, but we're not so different that we as Americans aren't going to have a wonderful cruise experience. It's just that little European flair that makes us unique. And I know everybody's got the perfect client for MSC because travel is all about experiencing new and different things. So that's, I think, really important. Secondly, I do want to, I want to emphasize that when you're on an MSC cruise, you're having these really, truly unique experiences as well. And our commitment, the number one commitment in our company, is to constantly continue to improve that onboard experience, ensuring that our guests, and we're delivering, that wonderful experience that our guests would hope to have. And, something that a lot of our advisors like to share with me, and I call this a pro MSC tip. So anybody out there who wants to sell MSC, there are some really great opportunities for you to do that. We have something called Status Match. And this is a program where advisors can take the loyalty status of their clients from another cruise line, a hotel, and match that status when they come and experience MSC. So, listen, we understand, right? The consumer works hard and spends a lot of money to earn that loyalty. And so we make it easy for our advisors to help their clients choose something a little different and try something new and unique. So Status Match, I think, is a huge opportunity to have the advisors have their clients experience MSC. And then something else that a lot of our clients do when they're selling MSC is when they're booking on MSC Book, they can offer our specialty dining package right when they're quoting the price. And that is such a tremendous value. And so I call it a pro MSC tip, because these advisors of ours who are top MSC sellers, they're packaging those specialty restaurants right in with the price. And it's just been a real successful strategy for them when they're selling MSC. So there's just a lot of ways to sell MSC and really grow with us. I mean, that's our goal, right? This brand is growing exponentially, and we want our advisors to become familiar and grow with us.
So I have to say, when I mentioned it in the opening, Ocean Cay, wow, the private island in the Bahamas, certainly one of my favorites. That's got to be a real point of pride for everybody there associated with MSC, I would have to think, right?
It absolutely is. I mentioned earlier that MSC is all about sustainability. And, at MSC, we're not just checking the boxes when it comes to sustainability. This company, Kris, has been sailing in the waters for over 300 years. We started as a shipping company. MSC stands for Mediterranean Shipping Company. So a little trivia for those who may not be aware. And so the family started over 300 years ago, literally carrying goods to and from Naples, Italy in the year 1675, which to me is just absolutely mind-blowing, right? It's just mind-blowing. And so the family really truly believes that the sea is in their DNA, and it is their responsibility to protect the sea. And so Ocean Cay is just another example of MSC's commitment to sustainability, because this island actually started out, it started as an overmined industrial site where they were mining for amalgamite, which is what they use for cell phone chips. And so MSC purchased this island and literally invested about $400 million and converted this island back to the way nature intended. And Ocean Cay now is a true marine reserve with 64 protected miles of marine waters, with all of the flora and the fauna. We planted over 75,000 trees and shrubs. And now this island truly is just a stunning example of that commitment. But not only is it just beautiful and it's a marine reserve, but there's so much for our guests to do on Ocean Cay. There's 8 gorgeous beaches. You can find your beach. You can spread out. You're not, having to, be on top of each other. There's all sorts of fun things to do on the island. There's water sports. You can kayak and paddleboard and snorkel and do all those fun things. We have food trucks on the island and bars and things like that. So it's a true highlight for our guests. But what makes our island experience at Ocean Cay truly unique is that we stay either long into the evening or overnight on all of our voyages that call on the Caribbean or the Bahamas. And this really gives our guests such a unique nighttime island experience, right? You're on the island all day, you're having a great beach day, and then you'll go back to the ship, you'll have your dinner, you'll come back out onto the island where we have our iconic lighthouse show. It is so beautiful, right? And then we've got our Luna Libre beach parties, so you can go out and dance on the beach. Where do you get to do that, right? And then we've got, Adirondack chairs and fire pits along the beach, so you can just hang out at night. Or you can snorkel, you can paddleboard on a glow-in-the-dark paddleboard if you want at night. You can take a starlit cruise around the island. So there's so many things to do on Ocean Cay, and it is truly a highlight for our guests. So, we're also building a new marine conservation center, where we're working with scientists at the University of Miami and Nova Southeastern University, where they've found a way to grow climate resistant supercoral. And so they'll be growing that coral on Ocean Key in our marine biology site, and then transplanting that coral throughout the world. So it's such a cool place. It's such a highlight for our guests. I know I said a lot there, but gosh, Kris, it's amazing. And everybody that goes there says it is just spectacular. So there's no water slides, there are no zip lines. It's not that kind of experience. It never will be. That's something different, and that's great. But Ocean Key is just truly a pristine, super fun, unique beach experience for our guests.
2 thumbs up from me, no doubt about it.
Right?
I love my visit. Kris Endreson, Vice President of Strategic Sales, MSC Cruises USA, is our featured Meet the Industry guest today for On Deck with Avoya. Kris, what advice might you offer those that are new to the industry that would help them maybe increase their sales, not just with your line, but maybe in general? Because my assumption is you've got to be a pretty good closer yourself, or you wouldn't end up as the VP of Strategic Sales.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think my secret is passion. I have passion for what I do. I love what I do. I believe in what I do. And so I think the number one thing that I can tell advisors out there is to sell with passion. Sell from your heart, from what you believe in, and make your clients excited about what they're doing. We're selling vacations, we're selling memories, right? I mean, this is what life is all about. And so I know what's made me successful in how I convey and represent, a product that, I worked for in my past. It's with that passion. So I would say, gosh, we're selling memories here. We're not selling widgets. So gosh, have that passion. And then I would say educate yourself, become that expert. And I think that's really important, because then you're credible too. So you've got this passion, but you're credible and you believe in what you do, and try to sell what experience as much as you can, but really stay focused on just a few things and become that expert. I think that's super important. So I know what's worked for me, and I can say that passion, I think, is number one. I talk to people sometimes and I think, no matter where they are, and I wonder, gosh, why are you doing this if you're not excited about it? So, get excited about it. Look how excited I am just talking about MSC, right? I'm envisioning myself there, right? So I'm excited and passionate, and people can feel that. They can feel that passion. And that's what's going to help sell. And then that's what's going to, I think, really move the needle and differentiate. So
great advice. Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly endorse that philosophy as well. Kris, we certainly value our relationship here at Avoya Travel with MSC, and of course, all of our great vendor partners. Could you share a little bit about the philosophy that MSC Cruises USA has when it comes to partnerships with companies like Avoya Travel, and how important that is to you guys as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Kris. And I have to tell you, this team is so dedicated to our partnerships, and so is the company. We're working super hard to become easier to do business with. We know that doesn't happen overnight. Hopefully next year in 2024 will be even easier to do business with. So that is definitely top of mind in everything we do as we continue to grow and make improvements with giving our clients that support that they need through our contact center, our groups department, with our sales team. We've more than doubled the size of our BDM team. So we've got BDMs across the country now, which is very exciting. As I mentioned, I've grown my team and doubled the size of that. And my rock star team of Lionel and Lewis. I mean, these guys are just amazing, and you can't find two people more dedicated to helping our advisors grow with us and help them build their business. So we really are committed to our partners, to helping them grow and build with us.
Exciting stuff. What about you personally, Kris, when you get a chance to get away from the office? What kind of things do you like to do for fun?
Oh, you're so sweet to ask. Gosh, thanks, Kris. Well, first of all, I've got the most amazing 3.5-year-old grandson. So Grayson is my world. And so he's my number one guy. But my husband and I, we love to mountain bike. So we're big into mountain biking, and I love to read. And I'll be honest, I just love to binge Netflix, and that's probably a great way for me to disconnect sometimes. So I would say, and I'm a shopper, I love to shop. So, I find ways to occupy my time, but honestly, we have so much ahead of us at MSC. There's not a lot of time for that, right? So any chance I get to
Absolutely.
sneak away and get and do any of those things, I'm very blessed to do so.
So we all know that one of the great perks of being in the travel industry, not the reason to get into the travel industry, but a great perk once you're in and you're a true travel professional is getting to visit some of these amazing places around the world. And you said growing up that, the beaches of New Jersey were kind of like where you and your family spent a lot of time. But now that you've expanded that horizon and seen some places, any that really just stand out for you that like, oh my goodness, you have to visit?
Well, honestly, I will tell you, Ocean Key really is one of those places. It really is. And for anybody who's been there, they know that. So I would say Ocean Key. But if we're talking globally, I mean, my goodness, I'm just so blessed. I'm going over to Europe tomorrow to go to the Christmas markets. That's a bucket list for me. Super excited for that. I'm 100% Italian, so any chance I get to go to Italy, I try to go every year, if not every other year. Blessed to do that. So, I've been just very blessed to see the world and meet new people and have these experiences. And we're just all so fortunate to be in this industry. And it's not just the places that we go, but it's going there together and with our partners and sharing those experiences. I'm in this to help my company and MSC. We want to meet our goals and we want to fill those ships, right? But it's also about the partnerships and it's about the memories and it's about, spending time with our advisors. And, we were just I was fortunate enough to be in Alaska at the Avoya National Conference where I can't tell you the fun that we had with the Avoya partners, on shore excursions and at dinners and, all through the conference. And that is what excites me. It's that partnership and it's building together and, forming those relationships. So that's what really gets me going, Kris.
So as we near the end of our interview today, I did want to offer you a chance to maybe share some thoughts or information about MSC that so far we just haven't covered yet in our discussion.
Yeah, so let's see. Gosh, I'm trying to think. We have what else is happening? I'm looking here to see what else I didn't mention. I'll tell you, it's just such an exciting time. So things, for everybody to think about. We've got World America for sale. We know 2025 is going to be here before we know it. We've got the 5 ships sailing. We've got 2 ships sailing from Port Canaveral doing some short cruises, which are perfect for the first time cruiser, right? Get them on board, do that short cruise. So we've got a lot of short product. So definitely some opportunities out of Port Canaveral and Miami on the short product. And then we've got some ships in Miami doing 7-night, 11-night, 13-night cruises. We talked about Maravilla sailing from New York, but Maravilla, she's got some great itineraries too. She's doing 7 and 8-night cruises to the Florida and the Bahamas over the winter, stopping at Ocean Key. And then also she'll go over and do Bermuda in the late summer. And then she'll do some longer cruises to Canada and New England. So there's just so much opportunity for our advisors, to sell MSC. The momentum is there. Our advisors are experiencing MSC. And I think that's why the momentum is there. One last point I'll make, Kris, last year, over the past, I would say year and a half, we had almost 6,000 travel advisors experience MSC. And it's because of our partners coming on board and seeing what this product is all about and saying, aha, now I get it. Oh my gosh, I have the perfect clients. I can't wait to start selling MSC and sailing again. So, I think the momentum is not only our great marketing department, churning, but it's having our advisors on board experiencing MSC. So for those advisors out there who haven't had the chance yet, we've got great travel advisor rates. You can find them on mscbook.com where you can, pick your date. They go out through the end of January. They're starting at $99. We want you on board. We want you to come on board and experience us because we know once you sail with us, you will sell us. So I think that's the greatest advice that I can give. We want everybody to grow with us. There's a famous saying out there, go west, young man. And Galveston's not the end of the road for MSC. So it truly is an exciting time for the brand.
What an exciting little like cliffhanger there you gave us, right? I mean, just as we're all excited you're going to Galveston, you got us thinking maybe even further west. So
Who
who
knows?
knows, right? That's funny. Kris, for 3 years, I've been hosting On Deck with Avoya. We're into our 4th year now. We started just as the industry was coming back from the whole pandemic. We decided at that point, until it stopped making sense, we were going to ask the same final question to all of our guests, because we think it's a perfect exclamation point on a wonderful interview like this. So the question is simple. Are you excited about the future of leisure travel, and why?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, if this year wasn't enough to get us just geared up for what the future is bringing, the growth of this industry is tremendous. You see the statistics, even the younger travelers, Gen Z, they want experiences. They're not into material things. They want experiences. Millennials now have disposable income, right? Their kids are, they've bought their houses, their kids are growing a little bit, and they're like, hey, we need to take the family somewhere, right? And then the boomers, right? The Gen Xers, they're like, hey, you know what? Like, we're ready to go. Life is good. And the boomers, the kids are gone. The boomers are like, it's my turn, right? I've earned this, right? And so, we've got Yacht Club for the boomers. That's our ship within a ship concept, right? Where you can have that exclusive premium experience. So the future is so bright for travel. I really think that the world is changing, has changed, right? The pause, as we like to say now. I think, that has just really made us all aware of how precious time is, and how blessed we are to be able to experience new things and see new things. And we're seeing that every day in this industry when we watch it just explode the way it has, and we don't see it slowing down. So it's truly an exciting time for all of us. And I know that's what gets me out of bed every day. So it's great times. We're truly blessed to be in this industry.
Indeed. Well said. Kris Endreson, everyone, Vice President of Strategic Sales, MSC Cruises USA. Kris, we appreciate your wonderful information, your insight, and just your amazing infectious energy for being our guest today with On Deck with Avoya.
Well, thank you so much. It was truly my pleasure. Now, everybody, get out there, sell. You call Lewis, call Lionel if you have some questions about Avoya. Call me. We're here to help you build and grow your business with MSC. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Kris. Happy New Year, everyone.
Take care. Happy New Year, Kris. What a great guest today. And speaking of guests that we're super excited about, I've been trying for 3 years now to see if I can't land our co-CEO to be in the hot seat. And guess what? He's finally said yes, as we get ready to bid farewell to 2023 with a highly requested Meet the Team episode of On Deck with Avoya. Michael Anderson, co-CEO of Avoya Travel. We'll dive into some of the wins from 2023, some of the exciting things coming up in 2024, and we'll just find out about Mike's story growing up in the industry with his dad and his uncle as the founders of Avoya Travel. I think it's going to be a really heartwarming episode of On Deck with Avoya. That's coming up next Thursday right here at all of our normal spots. Real quick, I want to talk about our promotions, right? We have our ongoing military promotion, $100 off the affiliation fee. Again, you can find out more at avoyanetwork.com. Please reach out there. We just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the travel agent education powered by Avoya platform. Wow. Big things happening in there. You want to earn more. You want to have fewer customer service issues, all the benchmarks that are important. Get the right foundation, travel agent education powered by Avoya. Get details at avoyanetwork.com, because then you can start accessing the world-class, best-in-class resources that provide the real professional freedom to those in the Avoya network. Things like our live leads and our technology that we'll dive in next week with Mike Anderson about, dedicated agency support, the marketing. It's just world-class. It's fantastic. Again, you can get details at avoyanetwork.com. Please, if you're going to be on social media and you're really taking the industry serious, we would love for you to give us a follow at Avoya Travel Network, Instagram now, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Great interviews like the one I had today with Kris, always uploaded on our YouTube channel. So please follow us and track the progress and never miss a beat with what's going on with Avoya Travel. Or maybe you're an old-fashioned person. I'm kind of old-fashioned. Pick up the phone, give me a call. My number's right there. Or send an email to chris.green@avoyatravel.com. But again, avoyanetwork.com is where all the amazing information is. A big thank you again to Kris Endreson from MSC Cruises USA. What a great interview, right? I mean, how can you not be inspired after that kind of energy and that kind of presentation. Big thanks to Annabella, doing a wonderful job as always, producing our show. Thank you, my friend, for being part of On Deck with Avoya. Until next week, take care